It's the 4-7 Dolphins against the 2-9 Saints. Somebody's season is officially over after this one. One could argue that both of their seasons are already officially over, but we got to keep the hype train going because the Dolphins have won 3 of the last 4. They're looking decent, and the running game is freaking awesome. The defense is freaking awesome, and Tua sucks. So let's get into the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. I, of course, am Anthony Pinzone, and alongside me, I got my boy Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace, and we are here to talk more Miami Dolphins football. First, an apology. This is a recorded episode, and we didn't actually tell you this was going to be a recorded episode. I blame Josh because, well,
and I blame you, so there we go.
Yeah, exactly. We are here to talk about our preview episode for the Miami Dolphins at 4-7, hosting the New Orleans Saints at 2-9. They're having a bit of a rough season, but so are we. Before we dive into our top 10 storylines, though, take a second to think about your final scores, your bold predictions, and your X factors. Throw them down in the comments right now before you watch the rest of the episode, because I know you will, because you love us. I hope.
Please do.
I know Jorge will watch the rest of it. Thank you, Jorge. Salute to you.
He probably already commented on it. It's not even, we're still recording.
It's not even live yet, and he's already made a comment, which absolutely love.
Love it.
Cannot wait. The extra point for this week, one player you need to see step up after the bye week. Who is it? And why is it Tua?
I love it. It's not Tua. I just need him not to screw up. I'm not asking too much. Just don't screw up, dude.
By the way, I want to get into something, just real quick topic before we hop into our top 10 storylines. I've seen this guy a bunch of times in videos for like Dolphins media videos and like locker room videos and stuff like that. And I never ever know who the hell it is because the dude looks like a giant in the videos. So I never thought to myself, oh yeah, that's the backup middle linebacker. It's freaking KJ Britt. The dude is huge.
He's massive, dude. Yeah, he's massive.
The other day, I finally saw a Dolphins picture on their website, and it had a caption. It was like, oh, it's KJ Britt. I was like, get out of here. That's KJ Britt. That dude is crazy.
Yeah, he's huge, dude. But he's not good enough to get on the field, apparently. Thank you, Weever.
Play special teams.
Also,
one more shout out. We have a special shout out to you guys for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. It's just a little tiny show for you all just to say thank you. Give you a little chat about, our favorite Thanksgiving things and the games that'll be played on Thanksgiving. So
absolutely.
Be sure to come and check that out. Maybe on Friday. Don't check it out on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or check it out on Thanksgiving. That's fine. Check us out.
No, do it on Friday. All right, dude. It's time to talk about our top 10 storylines for the Miami Dolphins at 4-7, hosting the New Orleans Saints at 2-9. Led by Tyler Shuck, by the way. It's spelled really funny, but it's pronounced Shuck. Interestingly enough, fun fact. Which version of the Dolphins offense is going to show up? So this Dolphins offense has been everything from fireworks to flatline, right? Mm-hmm. Just absolute garbage. So Josh, which version do you see showing up against the Saints? Like, what's the first thing you're looking for to tell you, like, oh yeah, this is going to be a shit game? Or, oh baby, we are onto something here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, it's the play of the offensive line and our coaching staff committing to the run game on both sides of the ball, stopping the run on the defense and actually rushing the ball and committing a substantial touch share of the offense to our running backs. I think that is how this team seemingly, the games that we play well are the games where we run the ball well. And the games where we put up more points than the opposing team is the game where we stop the run really well. Who knew? There's a correlation there.
There's a correlation? Right? Oh my God.
I didn't even know that. Right? But yeah, we average just over 20, a shade over 20 points per game. I'd like to see that number climb a little bit, especially against a team in a team in New Orleans who is in full rebuild and is struggling, albeit I was a fan of Tyler Shook coming out of college. And we talked about it off air. He's kind of went into a shit situation and it sucks, but what are your thoughts? I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think that the team is so up and down and it drives me crazy. Like we come out hot against Buffalo and then we kept the foot on the gas, right? We absolutely, the defense came out hot against Baltimore now 3 weeks ago. Well, 4 if you count the bye. And the offense didn't show up.
Yep.
Against the Falcons, we won 34-10. Where the hell did that come from? And then now this past week, 2 weeks ago against the Commanders, we struggled to even come away with a win. So this team really frustrates me. I think what I'm looking for is, we talk about this a lot. I'm looking at those first 15 plays, baby. What does that look like after 15 plays? Do we have a touchdown on the board, or are we scraping for field goals again?
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get. It's been a very hot and cold week to week thing with this team, and I just want to see some consistency. How's that? Is that too much to ask? Just give us some consistency.
A little bit. It reminds me of Space Mountain at Disney World. I know it's like that. It's that a roller coaster that's in the dark.
Yep.
It's like, dips and turns and ups and downs are going to come. You just have no friggin' idea where they are.
Yeah.
That's the Miami Dolphins in 20. It's fitting that Disney World's in Florida.
There you go. We figured it out. All right. That's it for us, guys.
That's it. Later.
That's funny.
Let's actually get into number 9 here.
Yes.
Because we do have a bunch more to come.
Yes, we do.
We have poked fun at Tua a lot here lately. To call him shaky, I don't think is an understatement. So storyline number 9 is just that. Shaky Tua. Is he going to settle in, or is he going to spiral out of control? He had the visor Tua vibe for a hot second. That didn't last very long. And, overall in the last 2 games, he has been a monumental disappointment. So what do we see out of him here against a team that he should handle quite easily?
Yeah, my thing with Tua that's really frustrating is even in our wins, which aren't many.
We got 4.
We got 4, right? But in those 4 wins, outside of the Atlanta game, which I feel like was less Tua and more Achane and our running backs, but Tua did his part. I'm not going to take that away from him. Even in the wins, they still feel bumpy, right? Things just don't feel cohesion. There's no cohesion. They don't feel cohesive. Against Buffalo, he throws for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Against Washington, 14 of 20, 171 yards, no scores, no turnovers. I just want to show some semblance of life. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know what he has on the year. Maybe you do. And you can talk about it, but I don't know what to expect from him, and that's concerning given he's our starting quarterback. Do I think he's going to settle in? No. Do I think he's going to spiral? No. He's just going to be very bland. He's going to be white toast. He's going to be beige paint. Nothing exciting.
Beige paint.
Yeah. All I ask is that he doesn't. I know he leads the league or is up there in the league from an interception standpoint. I just don't want to see any interceptions against a Saints team that is frankly just not good. And that's not a shot at the Saints. You guys are rebuilding. You have a young quarterback. You have an aging running back. You have offensive line play that's meh. So I just want to see the better team come in and play like the better team.
Yeah, I want to see the version of Tua that threw for 315 yards and 2 scores against New England in week 2. Like, where'd that guy go?
Yeah.
Right? Or the one against Carolina. Despite losing, we were 256 and 3 touchdowns against Carolina. Like, where's that guy? And, even in the loss to Baltimore, he got a bunch of garbage time yards. So the stat line looks good, 261. No touchdowns, though, and an interception, right? So he has 17 touchdowns and 13 interceptions on the year. And it's only thrown for 2,100 yards.
Yeah, 13 is a bad number, man. What's his QBR?
Been sacked 21 times, by the way. His QBR is 43.5. Oh, that's the ESPN QBR. The one that most people go by, 88.1.
88.1. Yeah, that's horrible.
Not fantastic. The lowest he's had for the year was actually against Cleveland, where he had a whopping 24.1. Remember when we lost 31-6 to Cleveland?
No.
Do you remember that?
I don't. No, that never happened. That was a parallel universe.
He threw for 100 yards and 3 picks in that game, by the way.
Go team.
Woo!
You earned that paycheck.
Oh baby. How much of the 54 million did he earn on that day?
All of it. It's a full lump sum. That's funny.
I don't know. Like, I would love to say that we're going to see the settle into it to get a little more serious. I know we're very jokey tonight because, well, why the hell not?
Because we're on vacation. We're on vacation.
We're on vacation. We're coming off a bye. I would love to see more of the settle into it. I would love to see I don't want to see anything crazy. You shouldn't need to be crazy against this team.
Right.
Give me around 200 and two scores. Right.
Perfect. And no picks.
Right. No picks. If you're throwing interceptions, you're keeping them in the game. Because every team in the NFL, no matter how bad, is still an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
They're still capable of winning. Kellen Moore's a first-year head coach figuring shit out. Don't let us be the one he figures it out against.
Please, for the love of Christ, please. Right.
Which rolls me into point number 8.
Yes, my favorite point of the night.
Because we're going to our boy. We love him.
Yes.
We're going to talk about him every week. If you're tired of hearing about him, tough shit. De'Von Achane is the identity of this team, not the accessory. He is no longer the fancy little earrings, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the main show.
Don't do that.
He's the main show. So every time this team leads an Achane, dude, the offense just is different. It's better. It scores more points. We win more games. So do you think that McDaniel coming out of the bye is finally going to have some revelation that maybe to keep leaning on De'Von Achane, or we're going to go right back to let's let Tua throw it 50 times?
I mean, I would like to hope that he has seen the correlation between committing to the run, even when there are certain plays that don't work. Like, for example, you run twice, you lose a couple yards because the defense makes a play. That doesn't mean it's not working. That just means you have to continue to run the ball. I mean, you look at this season, Achane, 164 rushes, 900 yards, averaging 5.5 a clip. 5 TDs on the ground, another 54-ish catches for 370 yards, and another 4 touchdowns. Look, he has proven, I think, at this point, everyone, including the doubters, saying he's too small to be a lead back. He's a number 1 back based on his production, and probably a top, insert number. I say top 5. What do you think? Top 6
top 5
running back in this league.
I mean, how could you not say he's top 5? He's having a top 5 season, that's for sure. If you want to put it that way, if we need to be a little less out there.
Yeah, exactly. So call it a top 7 NFL running back, and it fluctuates, right? Some weeks he's a top 5, some weeks he's a top 7, and then you look at the rest of our running back room, and when we commit to the run, when we average more than 25 touches for our running backs collectively on the ground and in the passing game, add them up. If we're over 25, we tend to win the game. Or at least we're in the game. And I just hope Mike McDaniel gets out of his own way, doesn't go back to the overcomplicated, we're going to move everyone, including the offensive linemen. They're going to shift because why not? Type of offense, and lean into our best players are going to get the ball and they're going to play simple football. And then we're going to let the run develop, and so that we can play action off of it, which is what Tua does best. Or one of the things Tua does best, which allows him to settle in, not have happy feet, something we talked about earlier, be calm, make the read, make the pass, and then lean back on the run and do it, rinse, wash, and repeat. That's kind of what I'm hoping we see.
Achane has 1,270 yards and 9 touchdowns, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Total. Like, if you count his receiving and his rushing, which you should, right? It counts. I think one thing I saw over
touches? Over 200 touches? Over 200 total touches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. 218.
Crazy. Perfect.
Yep. I think we saw the perfect example of why you keep running the ball in the Kansas City versus Indianapolis game. Mm-hmm. And I heard somebody on the radio talk about this, and I thought it was such a good point that I'm bringing it up here. Kansas City was down the majority of this game. They ran the ball 38 times.
Perfect. Yes, please.
38 times. And they were only getting about 3.3 yards a clip. But Andy Reid understands the importance of the run game to a team that is struggling, right? And they come back and win that game. It doesn't always end that way, but it gives you a chance to end it that way. Mm-hmm. And the more often we get over 30 carries in a game, the more often we win. It's that easy. There's not really much more to say. Anybody who thinks that Achane isn't a top 5, 10 back, whatever, I would just really question what you're watching.
Your football knowledge. Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
Is your like disdain for the team just so much that you can't admit that we have a good player?
Probably.
I know we have a lot of bad players. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, in most cases, I bet you that's exactly what it is. Right?
It could be. It could be. Put it down. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's just a football team. It's just a football team. It's fine. Speaking of bad players, let's move into point number 7.
Number 1 wide receiver, baby.
But Jalen Waddle sparking a weird season, dude. It's been a weird year for Waddle, as it always is. He's in and out of the lineup with injuries. In the game, usually he doesn't miss a lot of games, but during a game, he goes in and out of the game a lot, and usually because of injuries. There was the trade rumors. He almost got traded to the Bills, apparently, and then he goes off against the Bills in the very next game. I mean, I know that you're a huge Waddle fan, but we also just said we don't want to see them pass a lot. So what are your expectations for Waddle in a game where he may not actually be needed that much?
Well, I feel like those are the kind of games where he actually shows up, if I'm being honest. Right? I expect a very big day for Waddle. I think for whatever reason, and you've alluded to this quite a lot. Early game scripts, Waddle is the foremost recipient of the attention. Mm-hmm. And then after those scripted 10 to 15 plays, it's like, I don't think it's his fault all the time. I mean, last game he had a couple big ass drops, massive drops. Accountability is true. We believe in it. Waddle, you stunk up the place. But in most cases, it's like Tua or Mike McDaniel just kind of goes away from him. And I don't know if it's because of Tua's, at least this year, his seeming lack of trust in the offensive line and in his mechanics and in his reads. So he's very quick to, as soon as he sees someone in his peripherals, whether it's his own lineman or the defensive player, check down. Because Waddle is not always the one running the shallow routes. That is more, Malik Washington, Taj Washington, Nick Westbrook-Ikine, the tight ends. And Waddle is the insert depth wide receiver, right? 15 yards, 10 yards out, 15 in post routes, and so on and so forth. And so I feel like it hurts him a little bit because Tua is a little shaky at times, and Mike McDaniel calls plays where Waddle isn't maybe the primary, where he's maybe the tertiary, the third, read in a play, and Tua can't get to number 3, so he focuses in on 1 or 2. But I do think that he's going to have a big game. I mean, through 11 games so far this year, he has 49 catches, 722 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's 16th in the NFL in receiving yards, 14th in receptions, and 15th in touchdowns. So for all of the shit that we're talking, he's still a top wide receiver in this league. I just think he has so much more to show. And for whatever reason, whether it's quarterback play or coaching or play calls or whatever the case is, he just hasn't been able to. And in last week's case, the case of the drops,
And that's the mystery. Nobody has more opportunity than him, sans maybe like Michael Wilson down in Arizona, who's like literally their only receiver right now. I don't know what to think of Waddle, because last week when he finally gets the opportunity to make a impact on the game, we saw what happened, right? He couldn't do it. He failed, and he beat himself up, and I would too, right? Yep. I mean, anybody would in that situation. I think that Waddle can be a very good receiver, but he's too inconsistent right now for me to ever say that that's what he is. And I don't know if it's because him and Tua go hand in hand with their inconsistency or what. I don't know. Is it an Alabama thing? I'm having a really hard time figuring it out. But I would love to see him have a big game and get bounced back, which I think we will see. I think Mike will give him plenty of opportunities to bounce back because he knows that he's just sat on that Washington game for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And let it fester. So I think that Mike's going to get him involved early. Will we see him beyond that? I don't really know, because Tua doesn't seem to improvise well enough to get him the ball on a consistent basis. Which
is crazy to me, given how much football they've played together, dating back to college. You would think these two don't even have to talk. And you would think, in a perfect world, in my opinion, without Tyreek Hill, a team that is devoid of talent at the wide receiver position. Because look, I love Malik Washington. That is not a shot at Malik Washington. He is on his way to being a very productive and consistent NFL wide receiver. He's not there yet. He's close. He's not there yet. He's not a top wide receiver in this league. He never will be, but he will be a very, very, very good number 2 and an even better number 3. And I'm not saying that that's what he is right now. So you would think that a team devoid of talent at wide receiver, Waddle would be the primary and he would be force fed like Tyreek was in 2023, where he was getting 10 targets, 11 targets a game. And to your point, outside of the early scripts where he gets 3 or 4 targets, that's it for the game. That's what you get, buddy. Make the best out of it, Yeah,
it's insane. And I think, you didn't need a guy on the other side, though. I think Malik's a fine 3, and maybe he'll become a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll become a 2, but right now we're not seeing that. Right now he's invisible most of the game. I to your point about them being on the same page. I mean, we saw that when Tua first got the starting job. Him and Waddle, like just boom, instant.
Yep.
And we haven't seen it since. And if you go way back to when Tua was drafted, there were rumors that Waddle wasn't happy that Tua was drafted. And I don't know if there's any truth to those rumors, but where there's smoke, there's fire usually.
Because Waddle came out the year before, right?
Yes. So Waddle was already on the team the year before, and then we drafted Tua the next year, and there were rumors that he wasn't very happy about getting stuck.
I never heard that.
Again. Yeah.
I never heard that. Oh.
So it's interesting. Yeah, obviously that could have been completely fabricated. We know how draft season is. It's ridiculous. But what if there was something to it?
I mean, looking at what we see now, do you blame him? I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade.
I'm gonna get crushed for that in the comments, by the way. I'm looking forward
to it.
That's okay. Come on.
Bring it.
Let's move on.
You don't have
6.
to like our opinion. We just want you to subscribe, please.
Yeah, just subscribe. Yeah, hit the button. I know the thing says the wrong number. We're at 96 right now. We need 100. Get us there.
Yeah.
Get us there. All right, let's move on. Offensive line, dude. Offensive line has been a glowing improvement over the past, 3 or 4 games. So for the first time, potentially this season, with an actual straight face, can you confirm that the offensive line is actually good? Or is this just a bit of a mirage? You can't hide the
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, I really like what I see from this offensive line. I really do. They are coming into their own. We said it at the beginning. At the beginning of the season. Sorry, I kind of blanked there for a minute. We said at the beginning of the season.
At the beginning of time, we said.
With Littlefoot and us. No. It was, we were a very old Land Before Time. Anyone get it? Yeah.
Oh,
we were an older team last year. We were, one of the oldest teams in the league. Now we're one of the youngest teams. There's a lot of turnover. Over 50%, over 56% of our roster went from seasoned veteran to up and coming, young players, rookie players, people trying to prove themselves to get that first big giant contract. And there was going to be a learning curve. There was going to be bumps in the road, especially from a lot of our rookies. We saw it early with Jonah. Last couple of weeks, man, Jonah's been playing a hell of a game every week. We have Borum, the much maligned by us in particular, Borum playing lights out last week. For whatever PFF is to you, it's not a lot to me, but whatever PFF, they had him ranked as the number 1 offensive lineman in the league. Great. For that week. So, my question to you would be, do you think the return of Austin Jackson, the return of Daniels, I'm blanking on his first name, Jane Daniels, the return of Jane Daniels.
He's coming back.
Quarterback solution.
He's playing right guard. What the
hell? The return of both of those players, do you think that impacts this team negatively because of how well they are seemingly playing over the last 3 weeks? I mean, genuinely, they are playing top 10 in the league over the last couple of weeks from an offensive line standpoint. Do you think that those players, where they are clearly more talented than the players that are there now, do you think that their return screws up the chemistry that seems to be built? And is that a concern for you?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that in the reaction show too, and I think it's something real to be said about that. We saw a
Mhm.
bunch of guys return from injury for the Washington game, and then the team played much worse.
Yeah.
Now, we kind of weren't sure if that was because guys were returning or because we were playing in like Spain, right, where there's a lot of
Right.
travel involved and all that other stuff. So
Tons.
we'll see this week, I guess, how big of a deal that is, because I
Mhm.
think that offensive line gelling is a huge deal. And I'm honestly a little bit surprised that they're just going to go and throw Daniels and Jackson back in there
Yeah.
after the offensive line finally looks like it's starting to play with some effectiveness.
Mhm.
I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way by me saying that this is a very good unit. I don't think it's a very good unit, but right now they're playing very good football,
Mhm.
right? And when you have a group of guys, then we play six linemen now. We have been for the last few weeks. When you have six guys who are playing really well together, and they know each other's tendencies, and they know what they have to look out for from the other guys, that they have to, the weaknesses that they have to, look out for, and the strengths that they can let the guy go. I mean, there's a lot to be said for that on the
Mhm.
offensive line, especially. I think that's the most important position to gel at in the NFL. And while I think James Daniels and Austin Jackson are better players than Cole Strange and Larry Borum, I am a little concerned that the
Mhm.
gel is going to get shredded a little bit and we're going to see the team struggle. Now, after just saying all that, perhaps this is exactly the right opponent to make that switch.
It's a good point. That's a
A,
really good point.
a struggling Saints team with
Mhm.
Cameron Jordan, who's a very good pass rusher, one of the greatest all time, probably a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Mhm.
Um, it just eases them into it, though, right? I think
Mhm.
Cole Strange needs to be replaced, so I'm not
I
that
do
beat
too.
up about James
Same.
Daniels coming in and into the right guard. But with Borum finally starting to get better,
Mhm.
I am a little concerned about Austin Jackson coming in, who is not really a game wrecker himself.
Well, he's a
Uh,
hell of a player the last 2 seasons, though. Like, all joking aside, I mean, he was much maligned for many, many valid reasons, but over the last year and a half before his injuries, and which are well
which
documented.
there are plenty. Yeah,
Right. But when he's on, he's fucking on, dude. He's a hell of an offensive tackle.
perhaps.
Mhm.
But I'm still hesitant
Mhm.
on the move. And we're going to make the move, right? Larry
Of
Borum
course.
is not a very good player. I
No.
know that he had a very good week.
Yeah.
Great job, bud.
Amazing, right? You did
But
what you were at what you were supposed to.
right.
Yeah.
But he has been an absolute freaking turnstile this season,
It's
right?
been
And the offensive line coach deserves all the credit in the world,
Mhm.
Butch Berry, I think, for getting this unit turned around.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yes, I am concerned about the shift to starters coming back and what that's going to do to the gel that we've created on the
Do
offensive
you
line.
think that they actually make the move this coming game?
Oh, you have to. I don't
Right?
think. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a mantra in the NFL that an injury can't lose your job, right? So if they're sticking to that mantra, which I know Mike doesn't always,
Mhm.
I think that you're going to see, if they're healthy, I think you're going to see him in there.
So let me, and I know we're staying on this topic a little bit longer than we should, but it's the offensive line is really what drives this offense. When they play well,
Mhm.
we play well. When they play bad, we play poorly. Do you think that there's anything to be said? We can keep it really short. Anything to be said about Tua's comfortability, even just knowing in the back of his mind, okay, my entire starting right side of the line is back. I can calm down now. Or do you think that Tua's still going to be kind of dancing in the pocket and a little kind of apprehensive to do something?
It's a good point.
Mhm.
He hasn't looked comfortable in the pocket since, I don't know, week two.
When they
Um,
all went down,
right.
you know?
Yeah. It's a good point. I would say that if that is true, if he's going to play more comfortable in the pocket because of this, then
Mhm.
that would make me feel more comfortable about the moves. Which
Interesting.
again, you have to make the moves.
You do. Of course you do. You
You
brought these,
have
you
to.
have it. You're paying Austin Jackson to be a starting right tackle. He's going to be
Right.
our starter as soon as he can.
And Larry Borum and Cole Strange they're just guys.
Well,
I mean,
Borum was never supposed to be a starter. He was never brought in to be a starter. He was our first rotational piece off the bench, which I think in that role he is very good at because he's not talented enough, in my
but
opinion,
but then
to
that's a
be a starter.
mistake from our previous GM, right? You have
Right.
a right tackle who has been oft injured,
Mhm.
and you didn't bring in anybody to fill
Well,
that
that's
role on a long term basis were he to go
mhm.
down again.
Well, and that's why he's the former GM, finally.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, with if you're playing with the pieces that you have, ideally Borum is not starting. He's our back. He's a backup. You know what I mean?
And James Daniels, I love. I mean, anybody who's been listening to the show for a while knows it. I've been calling his name since the free agency.
Same.
So anybody who followed us over from Finn's forecast will know, like, hey, big James.
Both
Daniels
of us,
guys.
yeah, both of us, massive James. I was so excited when we signed him, and it
definitely did not know enough about his injury though.
Well, but that's the thing. His injury that he came with wasn't he didn't get re-injured. That was an Achilles,
but there was a reason
that
there's a reason that nobody else paid him, right? We paid him not real starter money. I mean,
no,
low end starter money.
An offensive lineman coming, a big back coming off of an Achilles injury. You never know what you're going to get, but this is a torn pec. I mean, shit happens.
Sounds painful, honestly.
You have no idea.
No, I don't, and I don't want to.
It's not fun. I'm speaking from experience.
Let's move to the next topic.
Yeah. So do you want to do a quick recap of 10 through 6?
Yeah, let's do a quick recap. So number 10, we talked about which version of the Dolphins offense is going to show up. We have seen us score 30-plus points against Buffalo and Atlanta and only manage single digits against Baltimore and Cleveland. This past weekend, we barely beat Washington team that was missing half of its team. Number 9, Shaky Tua. Is he going to settle in or is he going to spiral out of control? We just talked about he's getting 2 offensive linemen back. Maybe that will give him some confidence in the line. Number 8, De'Von Achane is the identity, not the accessory. This offense runs through him, not because he's a little side effect there. He is the reason that this offense is any good when it is good. Number 7, Waddle spark in a weird season. Waddle is in the top 20 in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, but you really wouldn't know it because it's been a bit of a weird, really up and down season, which makes total sense because the whole offense has been that way.
Exactly.
And then, of course, number 6, we were just talking about it for a long while because offensive line is an amazing topic with the Miami Dolphins. There's just so much to say about it. Is their recent success a mirage? Is it the new normal? Will the return of Austin Jackson and James Daniels have a positive or negative effect?
Yeah, definitely not Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels is not playing guard for us. I've just heard. Came through the little earbud here.
Right.
Yeah, he's not playing guard.
All right, and in that vein, let's switch. There was a lot of offensive talk, right? Let's switch a little bit over to the defense, right? So number 5 on our top 10 things to watch in the Saints versus Miami Dolphins game is Weaver's defensive script versus a young and struggling offense. This one's all about Weaver and all about what script and what game plan he's going to implement against not only a struggling team, but a young struggling team with a rookie quarterback and whose weapons aren't really that great outside of Chris Olave, who's having a down year, and Alvin Kamara, who's questionable to even play in this game. You've got a young struggling offense. You have a defense that's seemingly coming into its own that has been very good as of late. A lot of young contributors, a lot of our rookies are making big plays. What kind of opening game plan do you want to see from Weaver? Do you want to see kind of right in their face a big attacking game where he's not necessarily blitzing a lot, but simulating blitzes and making trying to confuse the younger quarterback? Or do you want to see him kind of say, you know what, we're going to play off. We're going to keep everything in front of us. And you, Mr. Shuck, are going to beat us.
No, I want him to beat the crap out of him. Are you kidding me? I want 8 guys rushing every single play and see if he can beat the 3 that you drop back. Because I'm really not confident that he can. Who's he going to throw it to? I think Olave is the only one you really have to bracket and make sure that he's handled. But I think a mixture of Jack Jones and Minka can handle that just fine. If Rasul's coming back, which I don't actually know the injury status on him.
I think he is.
If he's coming back, that'll be a big boon. I think you got to take advantage of the situation. It's a struggling offense. It's a young quarterback. Give him a welcome to the NFL moment. Put the pressure on. Let's see how he reacts. And if he starts to beat you, then you adjust. But I think, without a doubt, if it were me, I would be putting as much pressure as possible on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about a Miami defense that's allowing almost 25 points a game. We're talking about a Saints. Go ahead.
So the first 6, 7, how many games have we played? Whatever. We were letting up 31 points a game. Over the last 4, 16 points a game.
Great. And guess what? Guess what the Saints offense is averaging? 15.5.
Oh my God, I'm so close.
Just under 16. And so it's right in line. And I think, if our defense can be, and I hate to use this term because it's not what you want, but bend don't break at times in this game. But when we hit those rough patches, right? Going into the half and coming out of the half, I think is where we really struggle. If you look at the kind of throughout the season, if we can make a single play before half, a single play coming out of half to get us to get our offense the ball, then I think this game gets out of hand quick. If we let them stay in it and let these little dink and dunk, I know this is a really bad example because the Colts are really good. But if you think about how we were feeling about the Colts going into week 1, and what did Daniel Jones do? Dump off to the tight end a bunch, dump off to the running back.
The running back,
a couple of wide receivers, but they weren't like deep bombs. They were just 6 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, 2 yards, 6 yards. If we allow them to do that, this is going to be a close game. It's going to be frustrating and we might lose.
I hope not. I think the defense has been playing extremely well lately, and I think they just have to keep doing what they do. Don't take anybody lightly. Don't take anybody for granted. Go out there, pretend you're playing Tom Brady if you have to. I don't care. Like, they just need. I feel like defense is just as much attitude as it is skill. So continue to work up the attitude. Continue to get out there, and I mean the Jack Jones interviews this week have been freaking fantastic. Love that guy. Keep doing what you do, man. Keep going out there and keep getting at the quarterback, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly said. Perfectly said. All right, number 4 on our top 10 things to watch in this Miami Dolphins versus New Orleans Saints game. Chubb and Chop. I'm talking defense. The edge room belongs to these two right now, whether that's because of injury or because of trade. Chubb and Chop are the focal point of our edge room, of our rushing. Do you see them as just a few okay players, good players on this team that contribute from time to time? Or in your opinion, are they foundational? Are they a foundational duo that, assuming the price is right, you can add to a team for maybe another 3 to 5 year run, and they will continuously be a productive duo?
Yeah, I think truthfully they've been playing like just rentals, honestly, which is unfortunate. And I don't know that it's completely Chubb's fault or not Chubb, Chop's fault. We've seen that Chop's snap count has been relatively low, only being put out there on situational pass rushing, which is the same thing we did with Phillips, which makes absolutely no sense. And then Phillips goes to Philly, they play him every single damn snap, and look at how much of an impact he makes. That's one of the most frustrating things about Anthony Weaver's time here as defensive coordinator is that he takes these guys, he rotates these guys way too much. Like, they don't get a chance to get any momentum. They don't get a chance to try different moves on the tackles and stuff like that. Like, if I do think that Chop Robinson is a foundational piece on this team.
Agreed.
I think that he is still very raw. He needs to keep on practicing, keep on working on his skills and all that stuff. As good as Bradley Chubb has been this year, and as good as Bradley Chubb has been in his career, it's unlikely he's going to be back on this team next year. I think he's going somewhere else. I think he's going to try to find a winner again, which is what you do when you're an older player in the NFL. It's what 100%. I would do if I were an older player.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him, dude.
Right? But I do very much think that Chubb is at a point in his career where he is a pass rusher, and that's it. And Anthony Weaver's defense seems to want these pass rushers to do way more than just pass rush. Right?
Which I don't agree with, but yes.
He's got them dropping back and doing all this. And because he runs a 3-4, right? And your outside linebackers on the 3-4 need to be able to do more than rush the passer. I'm questioning that change because we were built the opposite way.
Which never made sense to me.
Interesting. So, yeah, I think Chop is absolutely a foundational piece, and I think Chubb is probably on his way out, and I'm hoping to just see him continue to make an impact for us while he can this year because he wants to get that bag next year, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, so
he took a huge pay cut this year.
He did. He took a massive pay cut with a lot of incentives, which fortunately for him and unfortunately for us, he actually seems to be meeting quite a few of them. Okay, so with that, in mind now, what would you actually like to see? What do you hope to see in this matchup from both of them?
Well, I don't really want to ruin my take later.
Okay. We can
But
pause. We can move on.
I will tell you at the end of the show.
I love it. Spectacular. All right. In that case, number 3 on our top 10 things to watch in this game, red zone and short yardage. Let's talk about both of them because this has driven us completely up a wall all season long. Yeah. Do you think that we finally see some, we're talking about in the red zone, do you think that we finally see some under the center run commit heavy formations? We're going to pound it down your throat 4 times in a row, which I know we did a couple times and didn't make it 4 times in a row with the right personnel, which I think is key here. Maybe don't run Achane behind the tackle on 4th and 1 on goal. Maybe put your 200 plus, 5'10" running back in. But anyways,
don't get crazy. Okay.
I know. Or are you bracing in this game for Mike McDaniel to coming out of a bye to kind of, and I don't know another way of saying this, but get cute again, right? Overthink things, try to be too cute in the red zone.
Without a doubt in my mind, he's going to try to be too cute in the red zone. He's had 2 weeks to think about it. That's way too much time for a guy like him. He's probably, and his whiteboard is probably filled with a bunch of doodles with different plays he wants to run,
like strings of yarn that are connecting.
It's crazy. Have you ever watched the show Ted Lasso?
Yes.
And they have no idea what they're doing because they're football coaches that are going to coach the other football, soccer as we would call it here in America, and at some point, they get so tired of losing that they're like, let's just ask the team for as many trick plays as we can possibly muster. And then it's just a huge whiteboard of trick plays. That is honestly what I expect Mike McDaniel's whiteboard looks like in his office. It's just this huge board of trick plays. And he is chomping at the bit. 2 weeks now. Chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I
want Mike McDaniel to be a goldfish. That's what I want Mike McDaniel. I want him to be a goldfish. That's a Ted Lasso reference for those of you that don't know.
Be a goldfish, Mike. Be a
goldfish.
No, but that's what the problem is. The problem is he's too much of a goldfish. He's like, let's try this screen pass 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That should work. We haven't tried it before. You tried it 3 plays ago, Mike. It didn't work.
Didn't work then. It's not going to work now, Mike.
That's the funniest play I think that everybody's in the league is trying. I see it way more now. Everybody loves that 3-yard screen pass to the receiver. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me.
I think the logic behind it, not to get too XE and OE here on the show, but is really to allow, because you usually when that happens, you have a 3 wide receiver set. You have the kind of the one that's behind the 2 in front of him, take a couple steps back, receive the ball, allows the offensive lineman that's going and blocking, in our case, usually Brunskill, to come up. And then you have a wall of 3 blockers. And then Achane can, and which is usually the one receiving it, can choose which lane of 2 lanes that he wants to choose. The problem is nobody blocks.
I equate it to the Hail Mary. It's got better odds than the Hail Mary, but it's a play that if it's successful, you probably gain 25, 30 yards. If it fails, which it does like 75% of the time, you lose.
You're losing.
And I think a lot of coaches, and I think a lot of coaches are okay with that gamble. They want to see, they want to, can we make something happen here? I think Mike just does it at really, really stupid times sometimes.
Yeah, and what's really frustrating, and this needs to be said on the show, from a red zone efficiency standpoint, we're actually one of the top teams in the league. We're very efficient in the red zone. On 3rd down, we're 38%. On 4th downs, we're 9 of 18. So 50%.
50%. Yeah,
right. And when the team commits to the run in the red zone, specifically in the lower red zone, and for those of you that don't know, 10 yards in, lower red zone, regular red zone, 20 yards in. Or at least that's what I was taught. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. When we commit to the run in the lower red zone with bigger bodies, not Achane, we tend to be very successful. And when we have tight ends that can play and we actually have run the ball with consistency, there's the other reason why you commit to the run, so that you can then run play action in the red zone and leverage your tight ends in the back of the end zone. So I just really want to see some logical play calling from Mike. But to your point, he's had way too much time. We're going to see all kinds of flea flickers and Statue of Liberties and all kinds of random shit.
I'll be honest, like if he really is the offensive genius that a lot of players say he is, this is where
Mhm.
I expect to see it the most. When you have the most accurate quarterback who can get rid of the ball very quickly, I
Mhm.
expect to see you drawing up plays that gets the guy open, or that Tua can like squeeze it
Mhm.
in, right? Like this is where I'm looking when I think about like a guy who is like an incredibly good play creator.
Mhm.
Not just a play caller, not just, not
It's
just
a
he
good.
knows all the plays of an offense and he can put them together in the right sequence. No, a play creator, a guy who
Mhm.
comes up with unique and interesting plays that people haven't seen before. I expect to see that in this area. And over the past few games, we've slowed on that. And I'm curious to see if maybe Mike does have something cool up his sleeve, a la the kicker throwing it to the punter for the touchdown a few years ago, or vice
That was
versa,
kind of
whatever it
wild.
was. Yeah,
That was
I
kind of
mean,
wild. Was it Jason Sanders that caught it, or was he the one that threw it?
he has to be the one that caught it, right? Because he's a kicker. So the
Yep.
holder
Yep.
would have to throw it to him. Yeah. So
That was such a cool play. That really was. I was a big fan of that. All right, number 2 on our top 10 things to watch in this game. Identity check on defense.
Mm.
Some weeks they look like one of the top defenses in the league. Other weeks, bend don't break, like we just said. Where do you think this unit really sits now? And what would a true we dictated everything performance look like for you?
I think that this team is in the middle of the pack,
Mm-hmm.
and I
I
think
think it's very fair.
The Jack Jones interview was fantastic. He said, "Hey, most of us are new." He's like, because somebody
Mm-hmm.
asked him if he was a leader on this team. He's like, well, I'm kind of new here, but I like to think I'm a leader because there's a lot of young guys on this defense.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot of new guys on this defense. He's like, 8 of 11 starters or something like that are new. So it's taken us some time to mesh, like we've only been together. Most of us were signed late, which is true.
True.
A lot of them were signed right before training camp or after training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've only really been together for 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to see them mesh similar to the offensive line. We're starting to see the offensive line gel. And I think this is one of the big problems of this former GM is that he didn't get guys in the room quick enough to give them
Mm-hmm.
that time to bond with each other, to bond with the other guys in the locker room. So I think the defense is middle of the pack. We're definitely not as good as the Houstons and Clevelands and of the world, or even the Green Bay Packers. But I think of us as a team where like we've seen a few teams out there where the defense shows up every once in a while and they change the game. Like the Chicago, right? Their defense has shown up a few times this year where it's like, where the hell did that come from? Um,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I think that's us. I think that's our unit. I think that we don't have a lot of big names. We don't have a lot of flashiness on defense. And I think it's our bend but don't break that is really helping us.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know how bend and don't break we are. This team has caused a lot of 3-and-outs where the offense just gave the ball right back to the opposing team.
Yeah.
I think they're just tired, man.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, look, we all know there have been some pretty big fucking moments from this defense. Like to what you just said, a shutout in the first half against Buffalo. Nobody saw that coming. Overtime interception from Jack Jones against Washington. Jordan Brooks putting up 20 tackles seemingly every game, winning multiple Defensive Player of the Week. However,
Leads the league in tackles, by the way.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
However, we're still giving up 25 plus points a game. We're giving up almost 150 on the ground a game.
Yeah.
That's where when we talked about this a couple shows ago, margins matter. The little things matter. And if you can reduce that 25 points per game to 23 points per game or 20 points a game, you go from low end middle of the pack to a top 10 defense. If you can reduce the almost 150 yards rushing per game to 110, I think you give your defense and your team a better chance at being successful for the longevity of a game. And we've seen it in stretches. And I think that's where my frustration, and I don't want to speak for you, my frustration with this team, with this defense is we've seen it. We've seen this defense block in and play some amazing football, some genuinely amazing football, some 3-level across everyone's playing, doing their 1/11th. They're not trying to overcommit and overdo. They're playing in their lane, and it's beautiful football. And then the next week, it's like, have you guys ever read a defensive playbook before? Do you know what you're doing? And then the next week it's, oh my God, hey, there we go. We're back again. And it's just, I just want to see some consistency. That's all.
That's what I don't get. I mean, we shut down Bijan.
Mm-hmm.
We shut down Derrick Henry for a half before we completely lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
We shut down James Cook from Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris Rodriguez runs all over us. What the hell is that?
Yeah, and or Dowell, what's his name?
Rico, but that was a long time ago. But I'm like, this happened recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these 4 examples were our last 4 games.
Yeah,
we shut down 3 of the premier running backs in the league,
mm-hmm.
and then Chris frickin' Rodriguez runs it up our butt.
Yeah, I don't get
Marcus
it either,
Mariota.
Man.
Yeah,
it's like
it. How you go from, and I know it's the NFL. Every Sunday is completely different.
100%.
Right? Every Sunday is a complete reset of the teams. But my goodness, how do you go from stomping on Josh Allen and the Bills to nearly losing to the Marcus Mariota-led Commanders? That's what confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah. And that's where, again, and not to be repetitive, but that's where all of the frustration stems from, is because we've seen it. We've seen phenomenal team defense.
Yeah.
And there are times when you don't. And it's just like, come on, guys. Like, we know you. And if we hadn't seen it, I think I wouldn't be so hard on this team. If we were like, dude, all year they've sucked. It is what it is. But the facts of the matter, to your point, we shut down premier level top end talent and then give it up to 5th string running backs and just let them run all over us.
And we did suck. For the first 7 weeks of the year, the defense was awful.
Mm-hmm.
We were allowing 31 points a game.
Crazy.
They were trash.
Yeah. What did you say we're averaging now?
16 over the last 4.
Man, that's great.
If
we can finish the year out with that kind of defense, we're going to be in every single one of these games.
Agreed. I don't know. I mean, it's a Kirk Cousins effect, I guess. We played Kirk Cousins, and all of a sudden the defense is freaking phenomenal.
I'll take it. All right, last but not least, our number 1 top 10 thing to watch for in this Miami Dolphins New Orleans Saints game is all around culture of this team. This is, in my opinion, this game is a pure culture game. You're coming off a bye. You're at home. You're facing a struggling team. It's been a messy season for numerous reasons across the board. If the Dolphins actually show up, and if they show you, Anthony, that they've grown up, if you will, from a football standpoint, what should this game look and feel like from a team that has matured during this bye week and over the last couple of weeks? What does it look like for you? What do you need to see to say, okay, they've got something. They figured it out.
The opposite of what we've just been talking about. The opposite, not letting, Chris Rodriguez run for 87 yards on 10 carries or whatever it was. And just doing your job. And that's very basic, but it was very telling. I don't know if you listened to the Jack Jones interview, and I don't listen to a lot of player interviews either. Usually I can't stand hearing them talk, but for whatever reason, I listened to this Jack Jones interview, and it was very telling what he had to say there. Somebody asked him about why the defense was meshing all of a sudden. And he alluded to the fact that, well, it's South Florida and we got a lot of young players and there's a lot of distractions, which tells me that a lot of our young players on defense were not necessarily thinking about football on every Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is, I totally get, man. But come on. You only play 17 games. It's 18 weeks out of your life if you don't make the playoffs. And you have the rest of the year to enjoy South Beach and the different accoutrements that it would provide. So what I want to see from this team is a team that looks dedicated, that looks like they didn't spend the bye week going off and doing the different things that South Beach offers. That looks like they did the things they were supposed to do, that they studied the film they were supposed to play, that they aren't taking the Saints not seriously, right? They better be taking them seriously. And that they come out not flat-footed like we've seen quite a few times this season, but they come out dominant. They get a sack in the first defensive, what do you call that?
Series.
Possession. Whatever. We get a touchdown instead of a field goal in our first offensive possession. I want to see it cleaned up, man. I want to see it cleaned up. I want to see it buttoned up. I want to see the team playing like they did against Buffalo, not like they did against Washington. And it'll be really telling. 2-week break.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them probably stayed over in Madrid and hung out for a little bit because it was the bye week, which I don't blame you.
Why not?
But are you back focused, right? That's the big question.
I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyways. In case that didn't work, that was an applause sound effect. In case people are watching and they didn't hear it and they're not talking.
They're like, what are these two talking about?
Completely knocked that out of the park. You finally grabbed the Dolphins finally got back-to-back wins against a Buffalo team where you dominated and a Washington team where you got lucky. And I shouldn't say that. A Washington team where you fought tooth and nail despite kicking yourself in the dick multiple times to get the win in overtime. And I think you perfectly stated, is this team going to come out prepared? Did Mike McDaniel and this coaching staff prepare this team during the bye week and get them locked in for a team like the Saints, which are very easily looked over, a team that's struggling? You can look to next week. Or are they going to come out and be the complete dumpster fire that we've seen for a lot of this season? Maybe not the last couple weeks, but a lot of the early parts of the season where it was like a comedy of errors. And I'll be really curious. I would like to think maybe this is maybe my fandom is showing a little too much on live on camera here.
Here it comes. Yeah.
But I really do think that we're going to see a team buttoned up and locked in, because I think, and again, maybe I'm just trying to convince myself, but I do think, you would be ignorant to think that they don't listen and they're not hearing all of the things that are being said about this team. And irregardless of how we feel about each one of these players, they are all ego-driven athletes that are multimillionaires. And I think we are going to see a team against a Saints team that is struggling, a Saints team that is young, that is building, that is trying to figure it out on the fly. We're going to see a much more improved Dolphins team this week. I really do think. I am not to ruin my final score predictions, but this is going, in my opinion, going to be a very convincing win. I'll put it at that.
Well, I sure hope so, because we need one. We need one after that Washington stinker, and we were coming off a high against Buffalo. Maybe there was a lot of variables there. 100%. Coming off the high versus Buffalo, going overseas to Madrid. All right, you've had 2 weeks. Get it out of your system. Come in, take care of business against a team you should take care of business against.
At home.
Where's that home field advantage? Maybe you'll get some fans to show up because you won 3 out of the last 4. New Orleans ain't that far away, though, and they got better fans, I would say.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Miami fans get shit on unnecessarily, personally. I actually
half empty half the time, man.
Shit's expensive, dude.
the other stadiums aren't having a problem.
I don't know.
All right, let's get into our predictions and wrap this bad boy up. What do you think?
I like it. I was going to ask you one more question, but I'll fit it into something else. Let's get to our X Factors.
All right, we're talking X Factors, bold predictions, and final scores. We let you know at the beginning of the show that we were going to eventually get down to this segment. And usually when we're live, we would ask you to put it in the chat, but we're not live, so put it in the comments instead. Let us know who's your X Factor, which is the guy who's going to have the biggest impact on this game. What is your bold prediction? Make it very bold. It should be nigh impossible. And then what is your final score? That is, how many points were the Dolphins score and how many points were the Saints score?
Oh, I got that wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Got you. Okay. I'm just that was for Josh more than anybody. Just make sure that he's here.
I'm the village idiot of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Nobody's an idiot. I would never call anybody an idiot. And the extra point, who is one player you need to see step up out of this bye? We're not going to answer that. That one's purely for you. So who do you want to see step up after the bye week? Let us know down in the comments below. And Josh, now we're going to get into our X Factors. I'm going to start with you, buddy. Who is the guy, unit, coach, fan that you want to see make, or you think is going to make the biggest impact on this game?
Yeah, for me, normally I go Achane, running back room, to Mike McDaniel. For this, both my X factor and my bold prediction are about the same position room, and that's the starting offensive line. I think they're coming out of off a bye week. This offensive line is gelling. We will probably see 1 or 2 new starters on the right side of the line. I think this offensive line is going to continue its upward trajectory, albeit a very slow, very, very slow upward trajectory, and show us that they can be at least a cohesive starting unit, and they're going to make impact plays, specifically in the run game. That's my X factor.
I'm going flip side to the other side of the ball, and I alluded to this earlier in the show when we were talking about Bradley Chubb and Chop Robinson. We saw Myles Garrett get 4 sacks this past weekend, which is absolutely incredible. He's on his way to breaking the single-season sack record, which good job. Nobody deserves it more than him. I think Bradley Chubb also gets 4 sacks in this game, and I think he is going to be the X factor for this defense. It's a young quarterback. It's a young left tackle over there in Kelvin Banks Jr., who was a guy that we had a high on our list for draftable people. And I think Chubb has shown a better ability to get to the quarterback than Chop this year. So that's why I went with Chubb over Chop. In total, I think we have 6 sacks. I think Chubb gets 4 of them. And he will.
And that's not your bold prediction, the number of sacks? I can't wait to hear what your bold prediction is.
It's not my bold prediction. My bold prediction is related to the defense, but it's not the number of sacks.
Well, let's hear it.
All right, my bold prediction is the defense doesn't allow a single freaking touchdown. We are going to shut them out from a touchdown perspective.
Let's go.
They can get as many field goals as they want, but they sure shit ain't touching that end zone. We're going to have spikes or something there to prevent them from getting in. Maybe a force field of force down in Miami.
I love it.
It's going to be fantastic. We're not allowing a touchdown. This is going to be a game for the ages. My score does not actually reflect that now that I think about it, but don't worry about it. We are going to crush the New Orleans
Don't do math. Don't do math.
Don't do math. We're going to crush the Saints. The defense is going to be a key part of that victory because they're not going to allow a single touchdown.
I love it. And my bold prediction is that this offensive line, staying with the same unit, doesn't surrender a single pressure or sack.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think the last time you predicted this, we got sacked on the first play. So thanks for jinxing us.
You're welcome. Enjoy the sack, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolute legend, you.
All pressures, all sacks.
Why don't you jump into your final score, man? How badly do you have us losing this one?
I actually have the New Orleans Saints getting destroyed in this game. 33-17, Miami takes it.
Yeah, I have us winning 38-10. I think the hubris is going to come back to bite us, though. We got to calm it on down. We won 3 of the last 4. All of a sudden, we're freaking superstars over here. 38-10 and 33-17. Absolutely ridiculous. But
we're going to get a 17-14 game. We're like,
yeah, we are. Yeah,
guess we're wrong.
We are. Listen, no disrespect to the Saints. We have to come up with a score. And actually, I kept my preseason score, so this is how I thought we were going to beat you in the preseason. How you like that?
You're welcome. You're welcome, New Orleans.
Yeah. Thought we were going to destroy you even 7 weeks ago.
If it makes you feel any better, New Orleans, you have amazing beignets. So
I don't know what that is. But we are both big Tyler Shuck fans.
We are. I was huge on him, and I still am.
Don't give up on Shuck too soon.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. All right, man. That'll do it for this episode. Don't forget, we have the Thanksgiving episode as well coming out. If you're watching this the day it releases, it's coming out tomorrow on Thanksgiving. So make sure that you go ahead and check out both our videos. Drop us a subscribe if you would like, or if you liked our content, or if you liked us, or even if you only liked one of us and not the other one, that's okay. You can still subscribe. It's free. A lot of people message me saying they don't like Josh. Can they still subscribe? It's true. You can. It's fine.
You know what? That hurts my feelings.
It's okay. Your feelings will come back
and
to you.
Before we log off, I see what you did there. Before we log off, quick shout out to all of our regulars. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And for the podcast folks, we have 2 goals from a subscriber standpoint that we are trying to reach, which will produce some fun gifts for a random fan. If we reach the chat set goal of 100 subscribers by, you're going to have to keep me honest on those dates.
The chat challenge was 100. The chat challenge was 100 subscribers by the end of November.
By the end of November, we will select, and we're close. We're at 96. We have a couple left, 4 more to go. And if we reach that by the end of the month, we will do a drawing of anyone that is a subscriber to our channel and that commented on any one of our videos. We will pull all the names together. We will draw a name. We will reach out to you, and we will send you some show swag along with some Dolphins gear If we reach our extended milestone that we have set for ourselves of 150 subscribers by February 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
11th.
Well, damn, I was so sure it was. I said that with full confidence.
Gusto.
February 11th, we will do another drawing for all of our subscribers. We will pick a name, and you will get a Dolphins piece of gear and some swag. So it's probably going to be a jersey. Just
be warned, it could be a Ted Ginn Jr. jersey. So
I'm going to break into Frozen Fins fans' house and steal that fucking thing off his wall.
It's a long trip, man.
It's worth it, and so I don't have to look at it every time I watch a show. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we called that out. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate it. It keeps us doing this a couple times a week, and we are a full year podcast. For those of you that don't know, you get to listen to our stupid faces all year. Lucky you.
Yeah, it's exciting. That was our top 10 storylines of the Dolphins Saints matchup coming up here in week 13. Give us your storylines in the comments below. We would love to hear what your top storylines are. What did we miss? What did we not talk enough about? Give us some feedback, and we will make sure to do better next time. But for now, we're going to head off, and we will see you back on Monday for our post-game reaction show, where hopefully we're talking about another victory deck episode here, where we come out with a win over the New Orleans Saints. But we won't know until Monday, so we will see you guys on Monday for that episode. Until next time, that is Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace. I'm Anthony Penzone. This has been the 305 Gridiron. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.